Want to surf the internet like a ghost? Let's make you invisible in online with ProxyChain. In this video, I will show you step by step how to install, configure and use ProxyChains to hide your identity online. Before using ProxyChains, let's quickly understand what a proxy is. A proxy is an intermediate server between you and the internet. It forwards all your internet traffic for you. So instead of your real IP reaching the website only sees the proxy's IP. But here is the thing, using just one proxy is risky. If it leaks, fail or get detected, your real identity is exposed. That's where ProxyChains comes in. Instead of routing your internet traffic through only one proxy, ProxyChains allows you to route it through multiple proxies, one after another. This makes your path harder to trace and gives you much stronger anonymity. The ProxyChain is built-in tool in Linux but not pre-installed on Ubuntu-based system, so you will need to install it. Type apt install ProxyChains4. Once the ProxyChains is installed, just verify the installation with the command ProxyChains4. If you see the help menu, that means the installation is successful. Before configuring the ProxyChains, let's quickly understand what type of proxies it supports. Because choosing the right proxy type can make or break your anonymity. It supports 4 types of proxies: HTTP, HTTPS, SOCKS4 and SOCKS5. Each one works differently. HTTP and HTTPS are mainly for web traffic, while SOCKS4 and SOCKS5 can handle almost any kind of connection. Just remember, SOCKS4 does not support DNS request or UDP connection, but SOCKS5 does. Now let's configure the ProxyChains. You will need to set up 2 things, the chain type and the proxy list. To do this, open up the config file in any text editor. I'm using Nano here. Type Nano and the path of the config file. Let's see proxychains.conf. Scroll to the end and here you will add your proxy list. This is the syntax for adding proxies. Every proxy should follow this format: proxy type, proxy IP, proxy port. And if the proxy requires authentication, just add the username and password at the end in the same sequence, username and password. By default, the ProxyChain is set to use Tor. You can add free proxies too, but remember, they are often slow or unreliable. I'm using free proxy here, just show you the process. But anything confidential, always use paid trusted proxies. I already noted a free proxy list for this. I just copy paste it here. After adding the proxy list, let's set the chain type. ProxyChains give us 4 modes: dynamic, strict, round robin and random. And each one decides how your traffic moves through the proxies. Dynamic chain tries proxies in the exact order you listed. If one proxy is dead, it simply skips it and moves on to the next one. This keeps your connection smooth and stable. Strict chain forces your connection to pass through every proxy in the list in the exact order. If even one proxy is down, the entire connection fails. It's more rigid but useful when you want a predictable path. Round robin distributes each new connection across your proxy list one by one, good for load balancing. It looks similar to strict chain, but it is not. The difference appears when you enable the chain length option in the config file. After enabling the chain length, the default value is 2. ProxyChains will use only that number of proxies per connection. For example, if you have 5 proxies and the chain length is set to 2, the first request uses the proxy 1 and proxy 2. The second request uses the proxy 3 and proxy 4. The third request uses the proxy 5 and again the proxy 1, and it keeps cycling. If you don't enable the chain length option, all proxies in the list will be used for every connection. Random chain picks proxies in a random order for each request. It adds unpredictability and helps avoid tracing patterns, great for extra anonymity. So in short, dynamic is reliable, strict is predictable, round robin is balanced, and random gives unpredictability and more anonymity. I just enable the random chain. Even if your traffic goes through proxies, your DNS request can still leak and expose your real IP. To stop this, enable the proxy DNS if it is disabled, and also enable the remote DNS update. Because ProxyChains uses a fake IP range to send DNS through the proxy instead of your real ISP. This forces DNS to be resolved from the proxy's country and prevent DNS leaks. Even if your DNS is protected, your system can still leak your identity through IPv6. ProxyChains works mainly with IPv4. So if your IPv6 is enabled, it can bypass the ProxyChains completely. To prevent that, you can temporarily disable IPv6 with these commands: system control -w for writing net.ipv6.config.all.disable IPv6 equal to 1. And then type system control -w net.ipv6.config.default.disable IPv6 equal to 1. This disables IPv6 until you reboot. Perfect for safe testing. To confirm it's off, just visit the test-ipv6.com. If the site says no IPv6 detected, you are safe from the IPv6 leaks. Now that ProxyChain is configured, let's take it one step further and combine it with Tor for maximum anonymity. Tor automatically routes your traffic through multiple encrypted nodes, and when you use it with ProxyChains, you get both proxy level flexibility and Tor's layered encryption. First, install the Tor if you have not already. Type apt install tor-y. Once it installs, start the Tor service with the command system control start Tor, and make sure it's running with the command system control status Tor. By default, Tor runs on port 9050. That's why ProxyChain is already set to use, so you don't need to change anything in your config file. Now let's test our anonymity with browser and tools. To run the Firefox with the ProxyChains, type ProxyChains4 Firefox. But here is a quick note: if you are inside a root shell, Firefox won't open. It shows a warning message because running a browser as a root is a security risk. That's normal, not an error. So just exit from the root, go back to your normal user and try again. ProxyChains4 Firefox. Now your browser is running through ProxyChains. Visit the iplink.net to check the IPv4 and IPv6. Our IPv4 showing I'm in another country, and my IPv6 is not detected because I disabled it earlier to prevent the IPv6 leaks. And let's check the DNS leaks. To do this, visit the dnsleaktest.com. Hit the standard test to check the DNS leaks. You can also use it to open tools anonymously. For example, I'm going to use the curl through ProxyChains. Type ProxyChains4 curl ipinfo.io. With the ProxyChains, I'm in Stockholm. Without the ProxyChains, I'm in India. And that's how you fully configure proxy chains, prevent leaks, combine it with Tor, and test your anonymity.